You can put it on the board. Yes!
Welcome to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster, Sal. Today's show is brought to you by Kelly Vegas, helping people just like you create and host your very own radio, TV, or multimedia talk show. Kelly Vegas can help you with everything you need to get out of sitting in hours of traffic like you're doing right now and host your very own talk show in your very own studio. Call Kelly Vegas right now at 949-445-1119. That's 949-445-1119. Again, 949-445-1119. Or visit them at CaliVegas.com. That's CALI Vegas.com. And tell them the circus sent you. I like charitable people, and I like people that are good for sports and good for the population in general. Now, we're going to talk with a special guest that just happened to call in. Caller, identify yourself.
Hi, this is Dr. George Gauthier. How you doing, Sal?
Mighty fine. All right, George. Dr. George, thanks for joining us. Now,
good to be here.
Hey, man, give everybody the 30-second on yourself real quick.
30-second. Well, I'm a functional medicine doctor based out of Chicago. I've been the doctor to the stars, Hollywood's A-list, sports superstars, music legends. Been the doctor for the Academy Awards and Grammy Awards. Work on a whole bunch of people and love getting people feeling better. So living life and getting them feeling better. That's what I do.
All right. And now, right now, you're on a whirlwind of television appearances and so forth, and we actually got you first before I think you're going to hit the airwaves in Chicago on WGN, if I'm not mistaken, tomorrow. Is that not correct?
Actually, they moved me to Thursday, actually Valentine's Day, for a little bit more impact. And so we're talking on right now, Sal, I want to talk with your listeners about the secret power of dark chocolate. And with Valentine's Day coming up, I don't think there's a better time to give your loved ones a really, really great, nutritious gift and something that's absolutely fantastic for their health.
Yes! All right. I mean, for me, I'm a fan of chocolate. In the last couple of minutes of this segment, I want to get into that a little bit, and then we'll carry over through the break because there's a lot to talk about with you. But give us just the quick rundown of why dark chocolate's good for you.
Wow, that's great. It does so much for you. It's chock full of antioxidants and has up to 12,000 natural occurring substances in it. So it's just fantastic for the body. Anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer, anti-heart disease problems, and anti-diabetes things. So it's great.
Anti-diabetes. Now, that's interesting. Tell me why it's anti-diabetes.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a very good question. With anti-diabetes, the anti-inflammatory prospect of the dark chocolate, the cacao bean, increases circulation in the body, but also works as a fantastic anti-inflammatory. So when you have pancreatitis or when you have an assault on the kidney, by the sugar in the body when it comes to diabetes, that's what diabetes is. It assaults the pancreas and causes pancreatitis inflammation. The dark chocolate actually takes care of the inflammation a bit and helps out quite a bit with helping out with diabetes.
Gotcha. Well, that's great stuff. That's great. I'll tell you
yes,
what. Listen, Dr. George, we're going to carry you over into the next segment because I want to get into that with that and some more of your background in detail and some of the other things you're working on because you are a very fascinating human being and you're doing a lot of good for the people out there in a lot of ways that people don't know, but they're going to get to know in the next segment. Folks, make sure you stick around with Dr. George Gauthier. He is the chiropractor to the stars, and he's got a lot of really good traits, and he's a local guy in Chicagoland, so you can make sure you can check him out. And I think he's over in Warrenville. Is that not correct?
That's correct.
All right, folks, we're going to be back here on the Sports Circus in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. Lots more to come. Also, a big welcome to everybody listening in on iHeartRadio and our NBC, CBS, and Fox Sports affiliates from coast to coast. Folks, we are joined by the chiropractor to the stars, Dr. George Gauthier. Welcome back.
Good to be here.
All right.
Yeah, let me make a distinction real quick, Sal. Go ahead.
No, please finish.
One thing. So I wanted the listeners to know about this, too. A lot of people like light chocolate versus dark chocolate, so I just want to say a real quick thing on that. When it comes to light chocolate, high in dairy, high in sugar, high in calories, not good for you. It doesn't have the cacao, which is a great substance that dark chocolate has. So I just want to make sure the listeners out there know that, hey, we're talking about especially dark chocolate. So it has so many great things for people in it. Just want to make sure they knew about that too.
Well, let me say this, and I'm an avid goer of the candy convention that happens in Chicago every year. They rename it something different seemingly every other year, but I've been going to the candy convention for about 15 years, which, of course, Chicago is the confectionery capital of the world. It's the candy capital of the world. That's why they have it there. And some of the best chocolates on the earth are there every year. And, of course, the dark chocolates are the prize ones that I'm always searching for. And for me, white chocolate, it's not even chocolate in the first place.
Pretty much it's true. There's not a lot of cacao in it. And like that, depending where the plant is grown, it's just like fine wines that chocolates have different tastes too. It's a very luxurious commodity. And like you say, with the Valentine's Day coming on up, I think it's a great, healthy gift to give someone you really care about. But also, it's good to take care of yourself with it too. So I'd like everybody to include it in kind of the diet that they have, that they're eating on a daily basis. So, and people say, Doc, how much should you have? How much chocolate is too much and things like that nature. I'd say about maybe an ounce to 2 ounces per day of the dark chocolate. And we like 70% cacao or up. Okay, so 70% and is great for you.
I got to tell you, a lot of people are very happy that you're saying this. I mean, literally from coast to coast, from Hawaii to Canada to down to Florida and a bunch of points in between. And I'm one of them because for me, I knew that there were benefits to dark chocolate. I didn't know the depth of the benefits.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. We could talk easily 2 hours on this, Sal. Like decreasing fatigue, better sleep, decreased pain, getting rid of fibromyalgia, arthritis, digestive problems, increase in memory. I could go on and on. The amount of antioxidants in there and vitamin A and E is just phenomenal.
Okay, so listen, take a minute and tell everybody how you became the chiropractor to the stars. I need the story. Everybody needs the story. Take a minute and talk about that.
Believe it or not, a lot of philanthropic efforts here in Chicago. And I was kind of discovered, sometimes people would come in. There's a lot of film shooting in Chicago. So sometimes they'd have an emergency on set, and I could do something on set for the actor if something happened to them. Just something that they, as far as carting them off to a hospital or something, I could get them through their scene. So it became really popular with that. Then back in '99, people recognized me from doing some of the philanthropic efforts in Chicago, and they had me be the doctor for the Billboard Music Awards, and worked on a whole bunch of celebrities back then, the typical big people like NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, Ricky Martin, Christina Aguilera. I can go on and on. So they liked what I did, and so the producers of the show said, "Hey, I'd like to be the doctor of the Grammy Awards." And I said, "Well, twist my arm." And they went on from then, even done the Super Bowl and then a whole bunch of other award shows, and have been doing that for the last 30 years.
Excellent.
So therefore, if I start hanging out with you, I don't need to have a media pass. I can just have the doctor's assistant pass, and I can get into all the great events, right?
Not a bad idea, but I don't think you. I think I don't want you as a tall boy. You should just be kind of come with me. Just kind of tag along.
Yeah, I could be security. Exactly. Hey, stay away from this guy.
Hey,
Don't worry about this guy. He's with me. One of those kind of deals, right?
There you go. Just be on my coattails. Not a problem. Do a lot of red carpets too. So that's wonderful.
Hey man, whatever works. As long as I get to get there, that's fine. All right, so here, let's dig a little deeper. I'm jumping all over the place because we're on limited time, and I want to know in basically in a few sentences. Tell me a little bit more about your cell level health fixes. You're on the cellular level.
Cellular level. I think that's important. Right now, I think one of the biggest things we find in medical science in general is the combating inflammation, which combats aging, okay? So when we have stuff that insults our cells, foods that we take in, the environment that we have, the stressors we run into, it harms our cells. That's why the last 8 years running, both male and female life expectancies in the United States have gone down. And when it comes to our health in general, we're under the half mark of doing well on the planet. So we are under half as well as the rest of the planet, yet we're the most technologically advanced. To me, that doesn't make sense. So, of course, it's what we're taking into our bodies. Like I say, with functional medicine, it's really important. So if anyone wants to look me up in general, more information, they can catch me at www.gauthier.functionalmedicine.com, GAUTHIER, and they can check me out. There's a ton of information on there. So that'd be great if they could. It's just that way you don't have to talk too much about it here.
Sure. Now, I also want you to just do the same thing tie in the dark chocolate to your holistic healing side.
Sure. Well, because when it comes to the dark chocolate, it just has, like I said, so many benefits. It's just absolutely huge with the antioxidants. Makes people feel good, it improves their mood, and 9 out of 10 Americans don't feel good. So if you ask them, hey, how do you feel? They'll just say, oh, fine, just kind of give you a default answer. But really, 9 out of 10 don't feel well in America. 2/3 of the population are obese, okay? So we have a lot of health crises, a lot of health problems. So what I do in functional medicine, I get to the root cause of the problem and not just fix the symptoms like drugs and medication might do. So we look for the root cause in the cells and to change them. And that's what I do in my office.
Okay, that's great. But now also outside of your office and outside your practice, you're a very giving guy. Now you're also involved with the Get 'em Healthy program. Tell everybody about that.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Well, right now, a lot of schools out there can't afford gym programs and sometimes music programs. So just talk about the athleticism of some of America's youth, as I'm sure you know well about this. So right now, some programs, the schools out there can't afford equipment, like sport equipment, or sometimes they cancel gym class completely. And so what we do, we link up with major sports manufacturers, Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, things like that. So these kids can get uniforms, they can get stuff to play with. And so since schools can't afford it, we charitably provide that for them. And so I started this charitable organization called Get 'em Healthy. Mm-hmm. It's all about America's youth.
I love it. I love it. So how could people learn more about Get 'em Healthy?
Just visit me at Gauthier Healthcare, functionalmedicine.com. We can get some information on that.
Wow. So you've got pretty much everything covered. I love the fact that you're giving back. I love the fact that you actually give a damn about people and their health, which, I mean, how many doctors out there? Let's just go with the average doctor practicing Western medicine. I have doctors in my family as well, so I'm a little familiar with this. How many are so quick to say, well, I'm practicing, so here, let me give you this synthetic medication and let's see if it solves your problem. The fact is there's a lot of doctors out there that are practicing, quote, I want to know when they're pros and stop practicing on me. I'm not a guinea pig. And I know, I mean, look, if you're giving me synthetic meds, I know that my body doesn't know how to break down that foreign substance. So what's it going to do? It's going to fight it in one fashion or another, is it not?
Yeah, that's quite true. And when are you going to stop taking that cell? So what we do is we find what's wrong with you. Let's see what's wrong with your cells. We do that by blood testing and using healthy values. So when it comes to that, when it comes to the medication aspect, it's not the doctor's fault. They're just kind of stuck in the system. They're stuck in the American medical system. It's not their fault. There are a lot of true, caring, wonderful doctors out there, and they're just kind of stuck with what they can do. They're limited to what they can do. So a lot of them are actually leaving what they're doing and jumping into functional medicine, which is great.
Okay, well, let me say this. All right, so here, folks, by the way, we're here with Dr. George Gauthier. He is the chiropractor to the stars, but does a hell of a lot more. Let me ask you this. Now, Dr. George, in the idea that you take your standard MD, your standard family practice, don't you think it would be a good idea if they had a little bit more knowledge? Now, this is just one guy's opinion, a little bit more knowledge on the possibility of, look, we know that there's a relationship between diet and your health. And the reason I bring this up is because I went through this dialogue with an oncologist previously, and then with somebody treating somebody else, a family member with god-awful chemotherapy. And the fact is the doctor didn't really have any real depth of knowledge on the nutritional side. And I think that's a really big fault, and a lot of doctors need to have a little bit more nutritional tie to their treatment programs.
Well, I kind of agree with that, but what I'd also state, too, is, once again, they're trained in a certain way, Sal, so we can't poke them with that. I have a ton of oncologists leaving what they're doing out of their medical system and treating the body more like what we do. So treating it naturally, treating it thoroughly, and doing more so because, let's face it, sometimes we get hamstrung by what the insurance companies allow us to do.
Right.
So they're at bay at that. The hospitals are telling them what to do. So trust me, it's not the doctor. They really, really want to help.
Okay. All right. That's really interesting. Listen, now I'm going to hold you over again, Dr. George. And look, you're going to stay with me till the top of the hour. That's fine. This is great dialogue. Now we're expecting another surprise guest to join us. And if he doesn't show up, we're going to continue on with this dialogue. If he does, we're just going to have a party here and we're all going to talk a little bit of baseball and health at the same time. What do you think? Good idea?
Awesome. That's great. So
all right, folks.
People can catch me also there, Sal. Go ahead.
All right, folks. We're going to be back here with Dr. George Gauthier. He is the chiropractor to the stars, and don't go anywhere. Lots more to come here on The Circus.